Good morning, Purple Phonics Group. Okay, so once again today we have some sound recaps on the screen. Let's see how we can do. So have a look at the sounds. Which one is ear? Which one is the ear sound? Okay, hopefully you're pointing to the blue one, ear. E-A-R make the ear sound, don't they? Well done if you got that right. Let's have a look at the others and see if you can beat me to say the sound. How about this one? And this one? Igha makes the I sound, doesn't it? We learnt that one yesterday. Shh. Well done if you got all those right. Let's move on. Okay, so this time, can you find the ow sound for me? Where's the ow sound? Let's have a look and see if you found it. It's the pink one. Ow is an O and a W, isn't it? Well done if you got that one right. Okay, what's this one? This one can make the or the oo sound, can't it? Ooh. How about this one? This one is oi. And next, this one is aw. How about now? O. Well done if you got all those right. Okay, last set. So can you find the R sound for me, please? Where's the R sound? Yes, again, it's on pink, isn't it? The A and the R make the R sound. What's this one? Ch. And this one? Qu. And this one? Another way to make the sound, isn't it? E. And A. Well done if you got all those right. Very well done indeed. Okay, so we aren't going to look at a new sound today, but what we are going to look at is another tricky word. So are you ready? Here it comes. So today's tricky word is she. Now we know this is a tricky word because it has that weird symbol underneath that letter, doesn't it? And that's because it doesn't make the normal sound you'd expect it to make. So we've got sh, but this would actually read she. But it's not. The word is she. It's another one of our camera tricky words that we just have to remember. Now, the best way to do that is to get yourself your little camera, take a picture, file it away in your filing cabinet of your brain. Which order do the letters go in? What is the word? So our letters are an S, an H, and an E, and they make the word she. She. So if you remember last week, we did he, didn't we? An H and an E, and this week it's she. So we have an S in front, she. Now, when we come to writing this word, we can see that we've got two short letters and one tall letter, but the body of all of our letters is the same height and they all sit on the line. So let's have a go at practicing this now. Now, I find writing an S probably the most tricky letter to write, especially on the computer, because there's lots of turns to get it to sit on the line. So let's see how well I can do. It's one that maybe you might need to practice as well, because we need to get the height right, but we need to get those squiggles in and get him still sitting on the line. So it's quite a tricky one to practice. So let's start with our pen on the line. It starts like a curly cut, so it goes up, but then it squiggles backwards and forwards, and then comes back round ready for the next letter. So that's our S. Then our H is a tall letter, isn't it? So he goes up tall, back down, up and over. And then our E is just a squiggly letter, isn't it? So it goes E. There we go. Now, hopefully your letters should all be the same size. Mine aren't particularly well sized today using the computer, but hopefully using a pencil, you will be able to do yours much neater than me. So the first thing I'd like you to do is I'd like you to practice writing this tricky word, she. Maybe write a row of them, maybe write them all in different colours. But remember, we need to remember how to spell this one. You can't sound it out. So you can't think, oh, it's okay. When I get to my spelling test on Friday, I'll just sound she out. Because it won't work. Because it doesn't sound properly. So give yourself some time practicing that word. And then when you're ready, come back and we'll have a look at some of our tasks for today. Okay, so let's have a look then. So I said we weren't going to learn a new sound today, and that's true, we're not. We were just looking at the word she. But what we are going to do is we're going to look at two of our trigraph sounds. Now these two trigraph sounds, lots of people get confused. They can't remember which one's which. They can't remember which letters or the order of the letters. So we're going to spend a second day looking at both of these sounds. Now let's have a look at them first. We have an A, an I and an R. And then we have the E, the A and the R. So there's an A and an R in both of these sounds, which I think is what makes people a little bit confused. But one of them, A-I-R, the one that breaks those two letters up, starts with an A. And with the other one, those two letters are together and it starts with a different letter. It starts with an E. So let's really look at these. Again, ready to take our picture and file them in our brain. We've got an A, an I and an R, and then an E, an A and an R. Now, can you remember what we used, what pictures we used to try and remember which one of these made which sound? Can you remember the two sounds we're trying to make? We're trying to make the ear and the air sounds, aren't we? And remember, they also make the words ear and air. But which one is which? Can you remember? What symbols did we use to try and remember what letter each one of them started with? Have you got it? Let's have a look and see if you were right. So we said the ear sound has a squiggle in the middle of that ear, doesn't it? A little squiggly shape. So ear starts with an E. Whereas air, we blow up a balloon with air, and air is that big round shape of the A. So air is a big round A shape. Did you get that right? So we have air and ear. Well done if you did. Okay, so our first task today is going to be to write two sentences. Now, one sentence has the ear sound in and one sentence has the air sound in. So I'm going to say both sentences before I show you them to see if you can really remember which sound is which. Okay, I'm not going to remind you what sentences look like because by now you should really know what those sentences need to be formed correctly. So let's think about the first sentence. The first sentence is, she is near the dog. She is near the dog. So that's 5 words. She is near the dog. Pause me. Come back to me when you're ready, when you've written the sentence. Okay, are you ready? Now, I'm not going to show you the first sentence. I'm going to dictate the second sentence as well, and then we'll look at them both at the end. So your second sentence, this one is a little bit longer, so listen really, really carefully. This sentence is, the chair sags as she sits down. The chair sags as she sits down. Now, that is, the chair sags as she sits down. So that is 7 words. That's the biggest sentence I think we've written so far. So 7 words. Okay, have a go. Pause me. Come back to me when you're ready. Right, so now you should have written both of those sentences. Let's take a look at the first one. So, she is near the dog. So, what do we recognise about this sentence? We've got the ear sound in this sentence. Did you get the right one? The A, the E, the A and the R? Hopefully you did. We've also got some tricky words. We've got our tricky word from last term there, and this week's tricky word, she. Now, she is written with a capital letter, not because it's a tricky word, but because it's at the start of the sentence. So she is near the dog. And have a look at dog. Did you sound dog out correctly? I'm sure you probably could sound it out, but did you write dog correctly? Now, lots of people have a problem when they write a d, and they do this. Now that is not a D, that's B. Now the way we try to remember this is when we're writing a B, we say we've got a bat, a big tall bat with a ball. So the straight line comes first. So it's a bat and a ball. So that's the B sound. But if we're writing D, we say it's a dog. So we say a dog, here's my shape of my dog, with a tail. So remember, if you're doing a D, it's a dog, the curl first, and then the tail, the straight bit afterwards. Whereas if you're doing a B, it's a bat with a ball. So try and remember bat and ball and dog and tail to remember which way around those two shapes go. Because they're similar shapes, it's just the straight line is first with bat and second with your dog and tail. Okay, hopefully you also got your full stop at the end and you wrote that one really well. So let's move on to the second sentence, the longer one. Okay, so it says, the chair sags as she sits down. Now, capital letter here at the start of our sentence, and we have the air sound in chair. So we've got sags. Now to sag means to go a bit floppy and a bit not so firm. So the chair sags, it goes down. It doesn't hold you very, very straight and very comfortable. So the chair sags as she, there's our she again. You notice it doesn't have a capital letter this time because it's not at the start of a sentence. Sits we can sound easily, and then down. Did you get down right? Because we sneaked in a digraph there as well, didn't we? The ow sound. So if you got that one right as well, give yourself a brilliant marshmallow clap. And obviously we have a full stop at the end. So take a look at them for a moment. Did you get everything right? Was there anything wrong? If there was, what could you do to remember to do it differently next time? Remember, we learn by making mistakes. Okay, once you've finished checking out those two sentences, let's have a look at the task I'm going to leave you with today. Right, so today's task is quite simple. We have a grid, so I'd like you to draw this on a piece of paper, and on one side we have one of the sounds written, and on the other side we have the other sound written. I'm not going to tell you which one's which because that's what we're remembering, isn't it? So we have both of our sounds written at the top of our grid, and then we've got some pictures here. Now, you haven't got the pictures at home, but you can write the words that go with these pictures. So we have a picture of some stairs. We have the rear of an animal, which is the back of the animal. We have a chair, a tier, the fair, and a gear stick. So what I'd like you to do is to draw this grid on a piece of paper, write your sounds either side, and then I'd like you to write the words that have this sound on this side of your grid and the words that have this sound on that side of your grid. So you've got 6 words to decide which side of your grid they go. When you've done that, if you'd like to challenge yourself, I would like you to pick a word from each side of your grid and write a sentence with that word in. Remember, it needs to make sense and it needs to have a capital letter and a full stop at the end. Have a lovely rest of the day and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.